Okay, so every day the goal will be to solve a leak code easy, and if I can't solve it, I'm gonna just try my best to like remember the solution, and then the next day I'll attempt to solve it. I just did one that I've been working on for the last 3 days. Like the first day I tried it, couldn't figure it out, kept on hitting all these test case errors. Then I checked the solution, saw the solution, and then even after seeing the solution, I tried again to do it and I still hit errors. But today was the first day that like I wrote out the solution fully without having to worry about anything. And it feels good. So I'm gonna continue on this journey. But I think a big part of it too is like the error that I hit with it was I didn't I didn't understand the way how data was stored in Python. So in Python you have store by reference, that's store by value. I assumed everything was kind of like store by value. Now, with the exception of like certain cases, turns out if it's a list or if it's I think a set, I don't even know, not a set. A set is stored by value, but like if it's a list or if it's a dict, it's stored by reference, I think. And then everything else, like int, strings, bools, they're stored by value. So if you have to make changes within an array that's passed into a function, if you make those changes directly into the array, it saves it, stores it accordingly. So let's see if we can get this problem solved because this is like a new one. This isn't the one that I memorized or like that I've been practicing for the next few days. This is one that I looked over yesterday. I couldn't figure out how to do it, but I saw the answer and like I know that like all right, there's a way through it. Like I originally had like this solution. This was the solution I came up with yesterday. So I was like, create a storage dictionary, create a count, and then my logic was if X not in the store keys, right? Store X or store the value into the dictionary and then print store to check it, increase count, else like remove it, and then it would say count is thing. So like the goal of it, if you read it, description, it's like to remove the duplicates. I should have started there. But the goal of what we're doing is we're going to remove duplicates from the sorted array. Remove the duplicates in place such that each unique appears only once, yada, yada, yada. And they said that they don't care about any position past the number that you tell it. So because it's sorted, technically on paper, um, if you return an int that says like, oh, well, there's like four unique entities, right? Or in this case, two unique entities, it'll only count up to two, and then everything else, like the algorithm, like forgets about. So that's what you're returning. You're returning that, and where does it say that explicitly in the instructions? It says da 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 da, unique da 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 da. Okay, which duplicates. Usually there's like a pseudocode written. Yeah, output two, and then it's like nums equals one two yada yada yada, and then everything else is unaffected. Normally they have it written like in like I don't know this test function or whatever, or like a prototype function, and they clearly state it, but it's okay. So customs a judge. I never heard of a judge. The judge will test your solution with the following code. Okay. Remove duplicates. Int k equals remove duplicates, which means that it's supposed to return an integer. And then k equals expected num length, right? If equals expected num length, then it checks that it matches, yada yada or whatever. All right, cool. So this was the code. This is where it was messed up. The mess up for this code is because it's in a for loop, right? And because I'm like technically like removing attributes while in the for loop, it causes like the potential to skip a number, which is what we don't want. So what I'm gonna do is I saw that there was an option to do a set. There's also like, maybe the option of like still using this, but let me run it and show the error because I'm thinking if I wanted to keep this, couldn't I keep this? But instead of like removing X, couldn't I just like swap it, right? So I would say like else, well, no, if X not in store keys. So then like I saw there was also another option here. So it's like if it is greenlit and it says, hey, this is a unique entity, I say nums, right? X equals the index, which would be store X, technically, right? Instead of doing, oh, no, that's bad. Well, I wanted to save it to the index. Yeah, so I could technically do store X. I could do store X because it only stores it in once, right? If not in store.keys, yada yada yada, whatever. Let me see if this works or how this works. 'Cause I'm wondering, does it? Okay. Oh, output 102, expected 1 2. Okay. Technically, I don't even have to have this here. I could just be like pass. Let's see how this works. Output 102. All right, why is this so? I was gonna remake this using a set and like adding to a set, but expected 102, right? Our output is array. Oh, okay. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay, plus equals one. All right, that's good. Else, I'm not removing anything anymore because I said I was swapping. But wait, if not in store keys, right? Store x equals nums x dot index. All right, okay, cool. So I stored it, and then I said nums equals store x, nums x, or like in this case, like nums one equals store zero, store x, which is zero. Oh, this is swapped, but x is the index. So what I need in store x is like the actual index, nums x. I could just do this store nums x dot x equals x, right? This is like poorly readable, but like that would be it, right? 1 1, expected 1 2. Okay. Maybe the else clause might have like something important too to consider. But let's run it again. 'Cause I'm confused. I'm confused. So, and I'm realizing like from the last example that I did, like the logic was very simple. And so like the more complex you make your logic, like the worse it is. Like it's better just to try to keep it simple. So for x in nums, right? Like my goal is for x in nums, I want to keep track of the unique entities. And like technically if I add it to a set, if I go through the set and I just add it to a set and then I count the length of the set, I could be like, oh, well, the set is length 4, return 4, without ever editing nums, and then I'll have my value. I think that would work. That would be the simplest way to solve it. But let me see if I can get this to work, 'cause that'll be like a good feeling. So 4x in nums. I'm gonna give myself like 5 minutes. If I can't figure out in the next 5 minutes, then I'm swapping it over. For x in nums, if x not in store.keys, store x nums dot index x, right? But index only gives me the first instance of it, right? So that might be the flaw. Okay, so I'm going through the for loop, right? It's 1, 2. It's 1, 1, 2, right? 1, yada, 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 whatever, right? If x, it gets put in store keys, right? 1, 0, 1, 0. But the reason why is the array messed up then? That's what I'm confused. Why is the array 1? Okay, well, store x. Nums equals store x. I'm trying to swap the index. X, but it's bad to put x because x will only show the first. So if x not in store keys, store x nums x dot index, it pulls up a 1, boom, print store, right, which is where I print the store, boom, 1, 0, 1 is in 0, 2 is in 2. Is 1 in 0? Yes. 0, 1, 2. 2 is also in 2? Yes. Okay, cool. Cool. So then, well, store x. Well, store x is not like the right thing then, right? Well, I would want to use count. I would want to use count. Nums count. I'd want to use count before I use index because then I would be like, okay, like if you're at 1, if you're at 0, right, which count in this case is at 0, nums count x, right? Would that work? Would that work? It works. Opa, all right, cool. And what's the time? So 3 minutes, not bad. Three and change, three and change. So let's submit it and let's see if this works. If it works, accepted beats 5.11. So I had like the least efficient option. But it's good because I can just get rid of this. I don't even think getting rid. I'll comment out the fucking print statement. Oh, well, I know it works, so fuck it. I need to keep all that. All right, and then the line here. For x in nums count x equals x. Nums nums count x. Nums count equals x, right? But that's only if x is original. That's good. That's good. Count plus equals one. All right, cool. So let's submit this again and see if we can get a lower number. And get this down. Still doo doo. Okay. But the good thing is, I'm looking at the camera. We have an accurate answer, right? We got it working. So that's a positive end. So now let's reframe this whole thing. Instead of making it this, let's do num. Well, nums is there. Store or small set equals set. I think that's it. Small set equals set. And then for x in nums, I want to say if x, no, I don't even care if it's not in small set. I could just be like small set. I could just add it in. Dot add x. Return set dot length, right? Let's run this. Oh, does this set not have like, okay, set functions Python. So set functions Python. A set definitely has a length function. It has a length function for sure. Come on. Where's W3 schools? W3 schools is so clutch. All right. Add, clear, copy, difference, discard, intersection, is subset, is super subset, pop, remove, union, update. Update the set with union of the set others. All right. Hmm. Is there a size? There's no size. Clear, add, difference. All right. Well, we're just gonna have to Google this. How to check size of set in Python. Because I know I can just convert it. Oh, len, len. That'll cut it. Turn len, small set. All right, let's do this. Output 1 1. Expected. Oh, okay. Okay. What I don't get is I understand why it says 1 1. I understand why it says 1 1. So I'm responsible for Oh, well, that's the name of the function. It's remove duplicates, right? So I need to actually remove the duplicate, right? Small set dot add x. So then what I can do is I can say if x not in small set, else, yeah, I can do that. If x not in small set, and then be like small set. All right, and then else, right? My goal will be here. I need to remove remove x from nums, right? And then for this, I can just say count equals 0, and just always be like count plus equals 1. All right, remove x from nums. But I can't do it in the line, right? That was my problem last time. My problem last time was I was in a for loop and I tried to remove while I was in the for loop, which is a bad idea. So then if x, all right, let's think about this. All right. I can't remove it in the for loop, but like I gotta remove it. I can add it to an array and then remove it later, but I don't think that's the most efficient way to like handle this type of solution. I'm not looking at the answers because that's kind of like, you know. So let's see, what time is it? It's 3:30. Damn, 8 minutes already. All right. At least we solved it. At least we solved it. But we just got to figure out like what's the most efficient way to do this. So small set, right? Set dot add x. Okay, cool. What's the difference between add and update? Add adds an element to the set. Update update the set with the union of this set and others. Okay. Yeah, so I don't need update. Okay, so set dot add is adequate. Anyways, if x not in small set. Well, I don't have to remove it. I can just swap it. So I can get away with swapping it, right? And that's what they said, which is good. So instead, I'll say nums or nums at count. Oh, didn't I do similar logic? If x not in small set, like I don't need this here. I could just be like nums count equals x. And then I'll just put a pass here. I'll run it. Yeah, else 1 1. small set dot x, which is 1. Okay, cool. Small set. Nums count 0 equals 1. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So now I'm at 1, right? 1. If x not in small set, x is in small set. Is in small set, right? So else runs. Else runs past whatever, right? And then I think 2 is not in small set. It adds 2 to small set, right? Nums count 2 equals 2. I don't get what's wrong here. I don't see the issue. I understand that it says 1 here. And I understand that that means that this line isn't working as intended. If x not in small set, right? If it's new, 1. Damn, what's going on here? Maybe I should put a print statement. But this technically is a print statement. I think it's cutting off. It's doing it right. It's counting 2. It's just not removing thing. And the line that's supposed to remove it is really this. Nums count. Oh, I basically said nums count 2 equals 2. Okay, so I don't need this. Well, I do need this. I need this, but I need this here, right? Yeah, bro, that's funny. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining me on this journey. Let's submit it and see how it works. If it's the most efficient. Ah, yes, yes, yes. It is efficient. It beats 100%. What's the O of N? The O of N for this is probably N. Yeah, because it only does numbers. It's so funny too, because I was counting it. I was like, wait, what? Why isn't this working? So, I was basically replacing it in its own position, and by me selecting that count has to be a part of the if statement, it only counts or keeps track of the newest. Okay, count holds index of newest slot of next unique slot. That's the other thing that I'm realizing, like, is like your words matter. So nums count equals x, right? This replaces or swaps bad code or duplicate index. Swaps duplicate. Swaps not duplicate index. Swaps unique. Swaps unique down to next available index. Okay, cool. And then small set add to set. All right, cool. Yeah, this is good. I'll run it so it's saved. Just nice little comments. Boop 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 boop. 100%. Memory usage, not the best. Who is the best memory usage? Let's see here. If len nums is less than 2, return. Next unique equals 1. Last unique equals num 0. If len nums less than 2, return len nums. Are these sorted? Yeah, they're sorted. What? I don't get. Oh, if len less than 2, which means it's 1. Okay, yeah. All right. If it's less than 1 or empty, return len nums, right? And then next unique. I thought when I read this it was 2. I thought it was like, okay, it's 2, but like how do you know? All right, yeah, it's less than 2. Okay, next unique equals 1. Last unique equals num 0. For num in nums, so he does end up using a for loop, right? So this is technically O of n. If num does not equals last unique equals num. Nums next unique equals num. Next unique plus equals 1. Return. All right, so it's like the same logic that I had a little bit, except he had like a check, a case statement check to see if it was empty or if it was 1. But I would argue that you don't need even a case statement check if it's 1. Because if it's 1, it's just going to run once in the for loop anyways. But I assume then like you don't like engage these other, like you're not storing information here, but then why wouldn't mine be more efficient? Well, I think he doesn't use a set. He doesn't use a set. That's why his is more efficient. So he just says next unique equals 1. Last unique equals num 0. If num does not equal last unique, yeah, his way, I don't even care about this thing because this is like not complex. I think my code is way more readable. This is way more readable for x and nums. At the set swaps unique. Count holds index of the last unique slot. Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. So this video is done. I'm happy. I'm gonna try to